So here in the pandas time delta, that we looked at one single object, which is a time object. But what if you have a series of time stamps in strings? So it can be a pandas series, or it can be a column in a data frame. Then you use this function called PD dot to date time. Okay. Then here you have to give a format. Then it's going to, you don't have to do a for loop here with this function. This is a U function, universal function. So it's going to apply that function to all the elements in the series. It will go through S8 one by one and apply it to all the elements. So we have, so it iterates over, okay, let's pandas to underscore date time function. Iterates over the entire column or entire series, used to convert date strings into date time data type, pandas date time data type. So here we have a series that has dates as string. Okay, so that's what we have here in S8. Okay, that's a series because we are converting, we are using PD.series. Okay, and you have, of course, since we are not specifying an index, the implicit index is used 0 through 6. Then you use this function PD dot to underscore date time of S8, and then you give the format. It's going to convert all those strings into date time object. Okay. Now you have to put it back into S8, otherwise all the conversion will be gone. So you have to put it back in S8. Now you have everything in date time. So look at the data type. Okay, S8 as it was originally created, the D type or data type is object. So object, it can be, there are many different types of object, string being one of them. So string is going to be shown as data type object. Okay, so this is that this object tells you that what you have is a string. These are not dates, these are just strings. Now once you do the date time to underscore date time function, once you apply that, then you see the data type is date time 64NS. So you don't worry about all these numbers at the end, but date it is a date time object. And all the date time properties and functions that we discussed just a few minutes ago, they'll all work. Okay? And they will work as .dt. So once you have a series, so you have to use these properties, .dt. So instead of simply saying S8 dot year, okay, which will work if S8 is simply one single object. If there is just one date time, just one, okay, PD timestamp now, you save that as S8, it has just one date time, then you use dot year, it's going to work. It will give you the year. But if it is a series of dates, several of them, okay, then dot year will not work. It will give you an error because it has to go through all the elements of the series, so you have to use dt. So I just wanted all of this in one cell, so I have a print in front of it. So S8, which we have already converted into date time, dt dot year, so there, the year part, and then month. So here is month, weekday, quarter, and day of the year. Okay, there are, all of those are here. Okay, so when you have a series, those properties will work with a dot dt in front of it. Okay, don't use just dot year, but you say dot dt dot year, dot dt dot month. Okay. Okay, and similarly, dot dt month name and day name, okay, they'll have to call a function, so you have the left and the right parenthesis for, okay, like what we saw just a few minutes ago. Okay, so month name and day name, you have to have the left and right parenthesis. Okay. All right. So let's look at the example. Your turn. Create a pandas series with the following list of birth dates. So just copy paste that. Okay, so that part. Okay, let's copy that. Okay, and we want to create a pandas series with this. So let's call it SQ13. Okay. Now, if you use the code like this, SQ13 will be simply a list, because we have a left square bracket, the right square bracket. Within that, you have all the strings. But what we want is we want a pandas series, not simply a list, right? So like, for example, if you just did this, SQ13, so it's going to be a list. It's not going to be a pandas series. So how can we convert this into a pandas series? Use the pd.series function. So pd.series, okay, so that's a function. Okay, so when you put it like that, then SQ13 will become a series. So which means you will have an index and then the values. And since we are not specifying any index here, you're going to get the implicit index starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay? So you run this code, you'll get a series. Okay? Now, what is the data type of this series? So it has what? It does not have dates. It has string. I mean, it does not have date time object. They are dates, all right, but they are dates saved as strings. They are not dates saved as date time object. Okay. All right. Any questions here? Got A? Okay. B, convert the series into date time data type. So now you have a series. So we have to use pd.to_datetime function. That's what will convert. You'll go through the series and apply the function to all the values in the series. Okay? So PD, okay, to_, now press the tab key. Okay, so that way you know that you're in the right track. If it doesn't say anything, then there's something wrong then. So here, to date time is at the top. Okay. Now SQ13. Okay. Now here we have to provide the format. I wonder whether the format, without the format, will it work? Oh, it does work, I guess. So you don't have to give format. You did change it correctly. So what, if you needed to give a format, then you'd give a format like, okay, what is the code for month spelled out in full? Okay, it's %B, and then space, and then %D for date, and then comma, and the space, and then %Y. Okay, gives you the same answer. So you don't have to give the format in pandas to_datetime object as well. And once again, note that the data type now is datetime object. Okay, you have to pay attention to that. All right. So have you converted? Oh well, we have to save this. So let's give a name SQ13B. Okay. Then SQ13B. Okay. So now we have SQ13B saved. Okay. All right. Any questions? It's good. All right, next, C, find the age in years at the end of the year, at the end of, well, I should probably say at the end of the year 2022, for example. Okay, so now what we need to do to find the year, so if you do SQ13B, right? So that's that. Now, since we want to go through the entire series and find the year, you have to do dot dt dot year. Okay. So year is a property, so you don't need the left and the right parentheses. If it is a function, then you need. So month name is a function, so you need the left and the right parentheses. So it's going to give you the year part. It's not going to. It's going to drop everything, and it's just going to give you the year. And so the age at the end of year 2022, okay, that will be what? 2022 minus. So that will give you the age at the end of 2022. Okay, so a person like in November 2013, okay, so they, you're now counting at the end of the year. But what if D is find the age right now? Okay, so that's your. So that's like what we did previously. We already have days per year, right? We have days per year calculated up here somewhere. Days per year, we have calculated it here. So let me go ahead and copy paste that, so it will be there here as well. Okay. Now we need the current date. Right now, what is the date? So let's do a PD timestamp, right? Now. Okay, so now if you did C minus, so instead of 2022, you'd use C minus, okay, but you won't do the year, so you C minus SQ13B, that will give you the difference. Okay, so C minus SQ13B, okay, so that's going to give you the time difference between now and the birth date for each of the 6 dates that we have. Okay. Now if you divide that by, so this is doing a universal function, so it's going to go through the entire series. So you divide that by days per year. That's going to give us how many years each person has completed as of now. Okay. So their current age then is that you have to drop the decimal part off. Then you'll have the age as of right now. Okay. And that, we can use the NumPy floor function.